Hi, welcome to this Knits and Bits video for the month of October 2024, where I will talk about all the things that I've knitted or that I am knitting this month. My name is Elisa. I come to you from the Netherlands, but I am Italian originally. Maybe you know this because you are returning to my channel. If that is the case, thank you very much. I really appreciate you being here. If you're a new viewer, I hope you will have fun with this. So because it's still technically October and the video is about the month of October, I'm wearing a sweater called October Day sweater by a designer. Her name is Masha Ziablikova. I'm looking at my notes on my computer. I hope that I am pronouncing your name correctly, Masha. If you're watching this, I hope you're watching this. She makes a lot of mohair designs and a lot of lace designs. So the light is a bit tricky today, it's cloudy, but this is an all over lace sweater. Let's see if I can show it fully. Not fully. This is the bottom hem. So you can see on the sleeves, on the back, it is worked in the round from the bottom up until here, so until where you join again. So the sleeves are also knit from the bottom up, and then you put the sleeves and the body together and knit the yoke. I knit this like 2 years ago. So thinking about, having to talk about this, I realized that I don't remember it that much. I only remember that I really enjoyed knitting it. It was a bit scary in the beginning because it's so much lace, but I managed to only make one major mistake, and it's under the sleeve, so not really visible. I also realized too late that I made a choice, a risky choice with the yarn. I held together these two colors. So one is a solid color. This is Bishes and Bushes silk mohair, and this one by Rico Design, which is changing. So I quite like the result, but the reason why it was a risky choice is that you have to make the color sort of match, right? I thought, when I got here, I thought, oh my, now I have to really start the sleeves with the same color and hope for the best as I go up the sleeve. But as you can see, I really managed to to make a green stripe here at the joint, so that worked out luckily, but I wouldn't recommend it. Honestly, I wouldn't recommend it. I'm always planning, to knit more things that I have actually time to knit, so I wouldn't mind making another one, this time in a solid color, two strands of the same color held together. And the other thing with this one is that it turned out a bit smaller than I thought. I thought my gauge was spot on, but still, and I'm a small person, so yeah, I don't know why. I expected it to be bigger than it actually was. I still like it. I wear it a lot. It is a bit itchy. It is, I have to say. So if I make another one, I might make it with something else. This I will show you. I will show it to you when I talk about my acquisitions. It's not mohair and silk. It's alpaca and silk, and it's much softer on the skin. But more on that later. So this is October Day sweater by Masha Ziablikova. Everything will be written down in the show notes. And if I forget something and you're interested in it, please let me know. I will add it to the notes. Now, finished objects for this month. Socks. You've seen these when they were in progress in the September video. Now I have both of them. I decided, because I had so much yarn left, I decided to make the first one longer. So the first one was already finished and blocked last month, but I like cut off the ribbing and added like 4 centimeters maybe. So I haven't blocked it again because I thought it was interesting to see the difference between the part that is already blocked and the part that is not blocked. I think it's quite visible in the camera as well. This is the yarn is Walk Collection Cottage Merino. It doesn't, oh, I just found out that I forgot to weave in the ends on the part that I have added. Okay. Yeah, the pattern is not a pattern. I just I typically knit socks without a pattern because I just prefer to knit in the round and go. This is a very simple pattern of 3 purl stitches, 1 slipped stitch, and then on the next round you simply knit all the stitches. So once you have a multiple of 4, you're good to go. The same yarn is the one I used for this hat. Different colors, but same yarn. You also saw this on the needles last month. The colors, I think I have the names here. Yes, this water green is called Fern. The darker green here is called Manhattan Beach Wave, a long name for a yarn. And then we have Salt and Pepper. I haven't really checked if the colors are still available, so you will have to check yourselves if you're interested. It's a 100% merino yarn, so maybe not the best for socks, but it's, I think, a sock yarn. Now I don't have the labels to double check, but yeah, I think it's a sock yarn technically. So yeah, I'm looking at my notes on my computer. Yeah, in my notes I noted down that I have still enough of the 3 colors to maybe make another pair of stripy socks. I think that would be really, really nice because these 3 colors go very nicely together, I think. I bought them for a shawl that never happened, and now I am recycling them for these 2 smaller projects, maybe a 3rd smaller project. So another pair of socks. If you watched last month's video, you know that this is one of those double folded hats. There's many ways to build a hat like this. The way I did it was starting at the center seam here with a provisional cast on. I knitted the white part and then I picked up again to knit the green part. It's yeah, then you decrease for the crown, and it's, I think it's called 4-point crown because it has 4 points, 4 wedges. So you basically divide the stitches by 4, and based on that you start the decreases. And of course, when you cast on, you need a multiple of 4, but that's easy to calculate. And the good thing about this hat is that you can fold it like this. Of course, you have to knit enough length, but if you do, then you can fold it like this. And you actually have 4 layers around your ears. So even if technically it's relatively light fabric, this was knit on 3mm needles. So it's a relatively light fabric, but it's 2 layers on the body of the hat that sits on your head, and 4 layers around your ears. So it gets really, really nice and warm. And I've already worn this a lot, especially in the morning when you go out and it's so cold and humid here. It's really nice. And of course, the other nice thing is that it's 2-in-1, because in this case I have a white hat with a green brim or a green hat with a white brim, like this, and both, or like this rather, and both are really, really nice, I think. Next up is my whips. So I only have these 2 finished objects this month. Speaking of my whips, I will show you 2 crafty things that I made this month that are not knitted, but soon sewn. Oh my god, this is such a difficult word. It's 2 project bags. I never had many project bags, you know, so my whips just lay everywhere around the house, on my desk, on my sofa. I have a knitting basket, but not much finds its way to the basket. Yeah, I'm really an untidy knitter. So lately I have adopted this. This was a little bag that my daughter used when she went to kindergarten. So it's like more than 10 years old. I embroidered her name on the fabric, so I always kept it because it was a nice, you know, yeah, nice memories. And I thought I could use it, like reuse it, like as a project bag. And so using the same technique, or the same pattern, it's not a pattern, it's just 2 rectangles of fabric sewn together with a cord here. I made these 2 project bags. One, and the second one is hanging there from the door handle, and it's this one, because I happen to have a very big fabric stash as well as a very big yarn stash, and that's because I really like to sew. In theory, I have sewing machine, I have a serger, I have everything I need. I just don't have the time because it takes me long. I don't do it often, and that means that I am not really good at it. So sometimes I have to just undo my seams, you know, it just takes longer. But yeah, I realized at some point that I needed knitting project bags. And yeah, I have this all this linen, because when I make clothes for myself, it's typically summer garments that don't require any lining, or, you know, I don't have to like put pockets or buttons. I just put an elastic band or something on my trousers or my skirts, and that seems easier to make summer clothes. So I have all of these linen, also scraps. Yeah, the blue one was made completely from scraps, and this lavender color is also left over from something else. They belong to the same batch as this pink that I used many years ago, so they've been laying there for a long time, and I think I've put them to good use. Now with these project bags, the project that lives in this project bag is my little lamb cardigan. I called him a little lamb because it looks like a little lamb. You can see it's knitted from a Bouclé yarn that I described in the previous video as a nightmare to work with, and it's really not easy to work with, but it's going better and better. I haven't made much progress, but some, so I am not too far, I think, from splitting for the sleeves. Maybe halfway through, maybe a little more than halfway, no, more than halfway through. It's obviously a cardigan, as you can see. Yeah, I think it's going to be very pretty and soft to wear once it's finished. It was just not very inviting in the beginning, so I thought, you know, I can't really be bothered to work on it. Then I decided I really wanted to wear it, so I'm trying to knit a few rows every day. So slowly but surely I will get there and have a finished object. The problem with the yarn is that the loops get caught. It has all these little loops, and they get caught on the needle. So sometimes you don't even know if what you see on the needle is the yarn itself or one of the loops. This is also just me getting old and not seeing very well from close up. So that's part of the problem for sure. But yeah, it's just not an easy yarn to work with. I also made a horrible mistake. Obviously in the worst possible, I think it's here. Yeah, it's probably here. You can't really see it. That's the good thing, at least, right? If your stitches are a bit irregular, or if there's a little hole, like I have one on the back here, I can't even find it because it's really not visible. Yeah, it's here. All the loops like hide imperfections, so you see there's a stitch that is a little bigger than the others, but it's really not visible, so that's an advantage. I will put in the description the yarn details. This is I bought it in Belgium during a trip to Belgium, and it's the shop's own brand, so it will be down there for you. The other, let me see on my notes if, yeah, I told you everything. So the thing is, with this project and with this other one that I'm talking about now, my goal would be to finish both of them by the end of the year. I'm not sure it will be possible, but I'm doing my best with this one as well. And this is absolutely lovely. Also not the easiest project to work on, but I'm having such fun with it that I really, every night, when I'm done with the rest of the things I have to do in the day and I have to pick it up, I really, really look forward to, put in a few rows of this one. Last month, I think it was like really, I only just started. I needed the neckband and part of the shoulders, so now it's really taking shape. It's knit on 3.5 millimeter needles, and it's one strand of mohair, so it might be a little intimidating knitting with one strand of mohair, but really it goes quicker than you would think because it's 3.5 mils, so not too bad. As you can see, it has this stockinette button band. No, it's not a button band, it's a band. It's a neck band, but not a button band because it will have no buttons. It's an open cardigan, an open jacket, and the rest is brioche stitch. The yarn is Kokon Bleu, the silk mohair. It's really rather soft. I think I said it already. So compared to other mohairs, compared to this combination, this is much softer, feels much softer. So it will be probably nicer to wear. And I will turn Dolly gently, Dolly kindly models for me. You can see here the sleeve opening. It looks bigger than it will be because I will have to like close these little gaps here, but it's a roomy sleeve because in general it's a very roomy garment. I still have something like 100 rows to go, so quite a lot. It's going to be really long and oversized. So yeah, I really like it. One issue I had here with the neck, I cannot really show it now. Let me see. You see the stripes on the neck? I didn't really like that, but now as I go, the colors are a bit less regular. So this is what I wanted and what I envisioned when I bought this yarn. So yeah, it makes me happy that now it looks like this. One added challenge is short rows. Because of the gauge difference between the stockinette and the brioche, every 6 rows there's short rows. So you have to like get to here and turn and go back to the other side and wrap and turn and go back to this side, or you know, whatever kind of short rows you want to use, but this compensates for the gauge difference. And of course in the beginning that also made me quite nervous because it's short rows in brioche. I never did that before, but yeah, it works fine. You just have sometimes to be confident that you can do it. I haven't spotted any mistakes so far, but I have to say that I dropped a lot of stitches, like a lot. Again, because I work on it in the evening mostly, and yeah, it's a dark. It's not all dark, but some parts of it, the dark blue is really dark. It's almost like black. It's almost, yeah, almost black, honestly. So even with a very strong light, and even with the right kind of glasses or no glasses, I really see better with no glasses at the moment. It's not easy, but on the other hand, you know, the silver lining of this is that I really learned to pick up my my drop stitches in brioche, which makes me very proud. I used a tutorial that was like really well explained. Of course, I looked at a few of them, and this is really the best. So I will put the link below because it might be useful to you as well. It really explains in detail how the stitch is built. So what you have to look for when you go with a crochet hook to pick up the stitch, because there's multiple threads, right? In a brioche stitch is like a double stitch. It has 2 threads, one on top of the other. So you have to really look and find which ones you have to pick up with your crochet hook. And that's really well explained with, you know, yeah, drawings and everything. It's really well explained. Okay, so that's how far I got. Now looking at it on Dolly, it looks much longer than I thought, and still I have so much to go. I wonder how long it will be, because at some point I might even like shorten it, because I'm very short. So maybe I don't need all that length. I don't need all those 100 rows. Still, I will have to measure it better. Okay. My next work in progress is a pair of socks. Lately, I am obsessed with socks. I really want to knit socks. I have no idea why. I've never been a big sock knitter, but I find them so relaxing because you just knit in the round, and they're so rewarding because you just finish so quickly. So maybe that's why. Anyway, I was planning to cast on another pair of socks, not this one, but my son, who never wanted knitted socks or anything else knitted by me, because he doesn't really wear woolen things, one day he was like, "Mom, actually I thought, you know, my feet were a bit cold, so could you maybe consider knitting me a pair of socks?" So my maternal instincts kicked in, and I abandoned my projects and I decided to knit these socks for him. They are The stitch is a variation, not a variation, but I think of it as a kind of variation on the other ones that I showed. There are not slipped stitches in particular here, but it's still alternating purls and knits. And in between, what is more visible here is the rows that are knitted and purled, but in between there's also 2 rows of just knitted stitches. So it's actually quite quick and not as bad as you might think. I know that a lot of people don't like purling, but it's really not too bad. Also, if you consider that the sole is, of course, completely knitted. So now, of course, with the leg, I have to purl a bit more, but it's fine. It's completely fine. I think they turned out, I tried them on him, and they seem to be a bit shorter than I thought, but probably, as you can see, it's very elastic, so I think blocking will just fix the length problem, and they will fit nicely. The stitch pattern can be found in a free pattern that I have. I will put the link below to download it if you liked the stitch. I think it's really nice because it's textured, but it's not difficult to. I don't think the camera really picks it up. Yeah, it looks less nice than it is, but it's really nice. So I'm not following that pattern in terms of measurements and number of stitches and so on, but you can find the stitch pattern there, so I will still link it below. I just wanted something similar to the green socks, but not exactly the same, and looking through my patterns in my folder, I found that one and it looked yeah, it looked nice. I wanted to try it out. It's an 8-row repetition, but again, it's really easy to memorize, and you can just look at your knitting and read it. So you will immediately know, once you get a hang of it, you will immediately know what you need to do on the next row, and there's no need to keep looking at the pattern, which is a nice thing, especially for me, the way I knit socks. I knit them, when I'm on the go, when I'm traveling. I knitted this while traveling, commuting to work, and also traveling. I will tell you about it in a moment. So it's nice to have something that you don't really have to check all the time. Okay, and yeah, this brings me to acquisitions already. This is a yarn. The yarn for these socks was an acquisition of this month. It's really soft and really nice to work with, and the name is Vintage Socks. It's called Vintage Socks by Lana Grossa. And yeah, let me take the label here. I already stapled it to my folder. The color, this blue, is 1004. It doesn't have a name, and it is 75% virgin wool, merino wool, and 25% polyamide, considering they are for my son and they will go in the washing machine. I think I made a good choice. I could buy this again because it's really nice to work with. Okay, sock yarn. I already bought my local yarn shop. I have 2 yarn shops in my town, and one only sells Lana Grossa, which I think is good quality, good value for what you get. So I also bought this Setasuri. It's the one I was showing you before. It is 69% suri alpaca and 31% silk, and it is maybe a little bit thicker than your regular silk mohair, but not that much. So I think it can be held with something else, you know, the same way mohair is held to make your fabric more fluffy and soft. I bought this to make a cowl, so to hold it together with something else, and then I decided it didn't work. I didn't like it, so I parked it in my cupboard where I keep my yarns. But it's okay. I didn't feel guilty buying it because I know already what I can use it for. I actually bought it with that plan B in mind, because I'm already planning for my 2025 knitting projects, and I will make a separate video to talk about all these projects, because I really have a lot of things in mind for next year. So yeah, probably in a couple of months, towards the end of the year, I will make this video where I explain everything, and this can be used for one of those projects that has a little color work. So it will work perfectly, because it will add color. Well, not color, it's white, but you know, yeah, it will be one of the colors, and it will also add a little texture, so it's ideal, it's perfect. I also have this gorgeous yarn. It's just a fantastic color. I'm getting out of the way so you can see it. It's an Italian yarn dyer called Lanivendole. Yeah, and they have really fantastic yarns. It's a bit coarse, and it looks a bit coarse, but it's not scratchy or anything, so it's just perfect for another of my 2025 projects. I bought 4 skeins of these and this little minis at a yarn festival, the Italian yarn festival that was held in Florence last weekend, the last weekend of October. It was a fantastic trip. I unfortunately didn't take many photos because I'm really bad at that. I typically prefer to enjoy what I'm doing rather than taking photos, but if you go on Instagram and you look them up, you will see what it looked like. It was in a Renaissance a monastery, in a cloister. There were a lot of independent dyers with fantastic colors, yarns. I could have bought everything, but I tried to really be focused. So with this, I just bought something useful because I'm using it next year. Oh, look, it's very similar to this one actually. It's darker, but it's perfect color match. With this one, you know, I just treated myself to something nice. The dyer is called Snailyarn, and this is, of course, 20 grams mini skeins. The color is paprika. I really like the combination and the gradient they will make. I was so tempted to cast on right away another one of this. This is a cowl, my own design. You will find the link below. I will put it on so you can see how it looks. Oops. Okay. It has this picot edge, and the stitch is one of these textured stitches that I'm always tempted to call honeycomb because it looks like a honeycomb. This one is knitted over 8 rows, and one of the stitches is slipped over 4 rows, and then over 3 rows, and then on the 4th row you knit it. So with the mini skeins, I thought the transition between one skein and the other will be even more interesting and more blended, right? Because they will all blend better when one stitch goes up in the previous color. Does it make sense? Anyway, I will make sure I fit that in in these last 2 months of the year. So hopefully, yeah, because I want to start fresh in January with all my 2025 projects. So I have to finish my son's socks. They will be finished, no problem. The 2 cardigans and possibly another one of these in this gorgeous pink reddish colors. Wish me luck, because it will be a lot of work and a lot of knitting. We are done for this month. Whew, I think it was enough, and I managed to keep this video not too long, because last month I really had so many things to show. I really talked a lot. I think this is enough for now, and I will see you again at the end of November, and we will see what I have managed to do.